Has your weight loss slowed down or become stagnant? Are you considering increasing your dose or titrating up? Well, in this episode, I'll share the 7 questions that you need to answer before you increase your dose of Zepbound, Wegovy, Mounjaro, or Ozempic. Hello, bold, brave, and brilliant ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Zepbound Journey with Ange. This hair, this little curl is annoying. I'm trying to get it to stay in place. Sorry about that if it's annoying you too. I used a rod set and it made it all really curly. Well, welcome to Zepbound Journey with Ange. I'm Angela Durant. My friends call me Ange, and you can too. And I'm someone who has struggled with food and my weight most of my life. For those of you who are new to our channel, welcome. In 2009, I made a life-changing decision, and that was to have weight loss surgery. I had the lap band surgery, and as a result of the lap band surgery, I lost 157 pounds and kept it off for at least 5 years. And then after 5 years, it started to creep back on. And then 10 years later, in 2019, February 2019, I had gastric bypass surgery. And I was really afraid to have gastric bypass surgery because I felt like there was really no coming back from that, right? At least with the lap band, you could have it removed, but gastric bypass surgery, you're rewiring your body, right? And it is not reversible as far as I know. So I was really nervous about that, but I thought, I'm going to do it. And this is the thing that's going to solve the problem forever, right? This is the thing that's going to take the weight off and I'm never going to gain it back again. Well, to my surprise, I only lost 30 pounds on the gastric bypass, having the gastric bypass surgery. And over time, up until this year, I started gaining the weight back again, right? Started creeping back on again. And my doctors were really concerned, right? I was almost 300 pounds when I started Zepbound. I was 296, 97 pounds when I started Zepbound, or I was prescribed the Zepbound. And then my journey began, right? And that's when I came here to talk with all of you. I will tell you that as a result of gaining all of this weight, being over 300 pounds, right? I noticed that because at my heaviest weight, I was 331 pounds. And I noticed that life is really different for me at least, when I'm that heavy, right? When I'm that heavy, I don't really go out much. I don't, I don't want to go anywhere where I have to walk a long distance because it hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's not easy. I'm only 5'2.5", so imagine carrying 331 pounds on a frame that's only 5 feet 2.5 inches tall. I would often have to know what the logistics were before I would go somewhere, right? So if my husband invited me somewhere, I'd be like, well, where are we going to park? And how far is the parking from, the seat, where I'm going to be? Like, how far is that? And how far do I have to walk? And can you drop me off front and pick me up front? It was just so many things that I had to take into consideration being a morbidly obese woman, right? And I noticed that it just impacted the quality of my life, right? That my ankles were always swollen, my feet were always swollen, my legs were always swollen. And on the inside, I really felt like, I'm not that old, like I'm still a vivacious woman. But on the outside, I felt like I was an old woman, right? That I walked funny, that I couldn't wear, the kind of clothes that I wanted to wear. And I felt like I wasn't really living. Let me know in the chat if you can relate to that, right? I felt like I wasn't really living. But I couldn't manage to get my arms around this food issue, and I couldn't manage to lose the weight and keep it off, right? So that's one of the reasons that I believe that I have so much compassion for people who are struggling with their weight, right? And understanding that it is a disease that we are fighting, right? Because I know what it's like to experience it myself. It's like being in a prison, like having your body be like this prison that you're in and not being able to fully live, right? To fully live, just enjoy life. You know, many of the people who are on these GLP-1, GIP medications often say they feel normal again, right? They feel like they can just eat and stop eating when they've had enough, right? They feel like that severe cravings for certain foods is gone, right? Even for alcohol, like that, their desire to have alcohol like they used to. I'm not a drinker, but many of the people that I hear from this community and friends say that to me. And so this medication has really been a game changer for so many people. And for people who don't suffer from the disease of obesity, you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? But for those of you who do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about when I say we just feel normal, right? I always give the example of my friend Lorna, who, and many other friends too, who can just look at food and be like, I'm good. I think I had enough. Or I'm hungry, but it's late. I'll just eat something in the morning, right? Like, who does that, right? Who does that? I've never done that, right? But to be able to do that, to make a choice, I notice on this medication, I can work all day. I have to stop and say, okay, you got to get something to eat because you haven't eaten anything. I can prolong the time in between meals because I don't have that insatiable hunger or cravings. So it's really been a game changer for me, and I know for so many others. And so, excuse me. And so in January of 2024, my doctor prescribed Zepbound for me. And that was after an 8-month wait for Wegovy. Initially, I was prescribed Wegovy, could not get it. And so my doctor prescribed Zepbound, which was not covered under my insurance. And I started paying out of pocket for it with the savings card. So I was paying $550 a month for the first few months, and then eventually my insurance did cover it. So that's kind of what brought me here to you. And in the first week, I lost about 10 pounds. The first week on Zepbound, I lost about 10 pounds. However, like about a week to 2 weeks before taking it, I had already started preparing my body, right? I had already started getting myself positioned and ready for this journey that I was going to go on with all of you. So 5 months in, I've lost 50 pounds, right? But the problem is, it's been 3 weeks, just about 3 weeks now, that the scale hasn't really moved. Well, it's moved a little bit, right? Really, it really hasn't changed my weight. I've gone up a little teeny bit, and I've gone back down a teeny bit. But over the course of 3 weeks, I have not gotten under 246 pounds, which is a 50-pound weight loss. Now, let me just say, I'm very grateful, very happy for the 50-pound weight loss, right? That is nothing to sneeze at. We celebrated big for that, right? We celebrated on here for that. However, I did not start this journey just to lose 50 pounds, right? I want to lose more than 50 pounds. Now, I will say it is more weight. I have lost more weight on this journey so far in 5 months than I did having the gastric bypass, which blows my mind, right? Gastric bypass, I lost 30 pounds. And I want to say that was like in a year, right? And on tirzepatide, I'm on Eli Lilly's Zepbound. I'm not on the compound, I'm on the regular medication. I've lost 50 pounds in 5 months, right? And now we're going into 6 months, right? So I'm not, I don't want you to think that I'm not grateful for that. I am grateful for that. However, I want to lose more, right? I'm still considered morbidly obese. I still want to lose more. So today I emailed my doctor to chat about the dose and whether I should titrate up or not. Okay, and that's what this episode is about, and we're going to jump into that in just a second. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, there are 6 different doses, right? There are 6 different doses that you could take on Zepbound or Mounjaro. Zepbound and Mounjaro are the same drug. They're just FDA approved for different things. Mounjaro is approved for type 2 diabetes, and Zepbound is approved for obesity weight management. Okay. So the starting dose is 2.5 milligrams, then it goes to 5, then it goes to 7.5, 10, 12.5, and 15. And 15 is the highest dose that you can be on. I am currently on 12.5 milligrams of Zepbound. I started at 5. I didn't start at the lowest dose because I knew that I could tolerate the medications, a GLP-1. I knew I could tolerate it because I had taken Ozempic, Saxenda. I was prescribed Wegovy, never took Wegovy because I couldn't get it. And then I went straight to Zepbound. Okay. So I went from 5 milligrams to 10 milligrams, 5 to 10, and from 10 to 12.5. And the only reason why I was as high as 12.5 is because of the shortage, right? I get my medication from Wegmans, which is a grocery store that has a pharmacy. And they only had like 2 different doses, right? And one was 12.5. And so I titrated up. I increased the dose to 12.5 because of that, right? And because I was tolerating it pretty well, aside from the one big side effect that I had, which was these itchy bumps, like a rash and itchy bumps like mosquito bites I was getting. And I would like to report to you that I have not had them in over a month now, which is interesting. I guess my body's starting to get used to the medication. So that's just to kind of give you a little bit of background to where I was. So I'm on 12.5 milligrams. That's the dose that I'm on. And I looked at Eli Lilly's site again today. So if you go to like Zepbound.com or Eli Lilly, you can find that site. And it says that the greatest average weight loss based on Eli Lilly's trial was 21%. And it's at 15 milligram dose, right? 21% body weight loss at 15 milligrams. I'm currently on 12.5 milligrams, and I've lost 17% of my body weight, right? Which again is nothing to sneeze at. 17% of body weight is not nothing to sneeze at. But I want my 21%, right? 21% will put me at about, let's see, I calculated out 62.2 pounds, right? Say 62 pounds down. I'm 50 pounds down, so that's like another 12 pounds. I would like to see if it can go even further than that, but it says 21% on average, right? So I'm going to show you what I look like right now. And I'm wearing one of the dresses that came from the clothing swap from my retreat. The retreat was fantastic. This is one of the outfits, one of my favorite little outfits I'm going to show you. Hang on a second, I have to unplug my earphones. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to show you what I'm looking like. This is a cute little dress. It's a top and a skirt, and I put a denim jacket over top of it. Put a little denim jacket over top of it so you can see it's a long skirt. And the top is singed in a little bit. The waist is singed in, so see, it has like a little singed in waist here. Very cute, right? A little bit of puff of a sleeve. One of my good friends brought this to the clothing swap, and it fit me perfectly. So, and this is like, I want to say it's an extra large. It's an extra large from one of my favorite places, and that's Banana Republic. So this is an extra large out of Banana Republic. So I don't know if you can hear me. I'll put my ear set back in again. But this is it's like an extra large or a 1X, maybe a 1X. And I will tell you, I would go into Banana Republic all the time and could not fit a thing out of there. Not one thing out of there, except for I have an extra large navy blue V-neck cashmere sweater. It's a men's sweater, but I loved it, so I bought it, right? But that was the only thing I owned because that was the only thing I could fit. And now I have all these clothes from Banana Republic, and this is one of the dresses. So I thought it was really, it was a sassy little dress with this animal print. And shout out to my good friend who donated this little dress in a clothing swap. So I'm 17% of my body weight gone based on being on Zepbound. So I'm very, very happy about that. But we're going on this journey so we can really get down, right? So we can really get this weight off as much as possible. So 3 weeks, not much weight loss, right? 3 weeks, pretty much staying stagnant. I need a bobby pin or something about this curl. Sorry about that. Haven't really gone anywhere in 3 weeks, right? So the question is, do I titrate up? Now I know many of you are saying, no, Ange, don't do it, don't do it. Once you go to 15, there's nowhere to go but up. And a lot of the folks who have been on these GLP-1s for a long time say, I wish I had slowed down. I wish I hadn't titrated up so fast because now there's nowhere to go until these new medications come out. There's nowhere to go. And I hear you. And I feel like the 12.5 is a good spot for me still. But I did have the conversation with my doctor, and I want to tell you these. I want to give you these 7 questions that the doctor asked. And I wonder if your doctor's asking the same questions. So these are the questions you want to answer before you titrate up. And it's really important for you to know your own body. Like I always tell you guys that it's important for you to be in touch with your own body. Like I knew I could tolerate the medication. I already knew that I could. And so that's one of the reasons I started at 5 milligrams, right? And then I went to 10 milligrams. You guys are like, oh no, but it was fine. It wasn't a problem for me, right? But you have to know your own body. So how do you know when you should titrate up? How do you know? Well, here are the 7 questions that my doctor asked me before approving my increase in dose. And we talked about that again today. And one of the things that I said to her was, I think I'm fine at 12.5. I want to see, maybe revisit it next month to see how I do, right? And I'll tell you why I said that in just a second. All right, so let's go into the questions. Let's go ahead and dive into these questions. I have them all typed up here, so I want to make sure I don't miss any of them for you. Let's dive into these questions. Okay, question number one. What is your most recent weight? How much do you weigh, right? So your doctor should be asking you. If you're not seeing, I didn't see her in person. I emailed her. So your doctor should be asking you, if not weighing you, how much do you weigh? Like, are you losing weight? Are you on track? Are you at the pace that you should be at? Because if you're losing a lot, they might be like, wait a minute, right? So you really need to titrate up. Or are you okay? Let's look at some other things that might be impacting your weight loss, okay? So the first question, what's your most recent weight, okay? Question number two, what is your current dose, right? What are you currently on, right? And most of your doctors are going to know that, but it depends. Like if you see an obesity specialist and your primary doctor is prescribing it, that might be something that you need to know, right? And they might just need to be reminded, like, hang on a second, where are you now? You're at 12.5. Okay, what are we talking about? Going up to 15, right? So, and then for some of you, you may titrate down. You may want to maintain because you're losing so much weight, or you've hit your goal and you're like, okay, now let me titrate down a little bit or spread out but instead of having it every week, I take my injection every 2 weeks. For those of you who are not familiar with the medication, you're just learning about it. What we're talking about is an injection pen. The medication is in a pen. It's a needle that we take. Typically take it once a week, and it is like nothing. If you're afraid of needles, you won't be afraid of this. I promise you. It is like a lot of times when I give myself the needle, I'm like, did it work? Did it happen? I feel nothing, right? It's like really nothing. Super, super easy to take. And you can take it in 3 different places. It's suggested in the belly, in your thigh, or the back of your arm with the assistance of someone else's help. Okay. So where are you now, right? So the second question is, what dose are you on now? All right. So for me, I was on 12.5, right? My most recent weight is 246. I'm down 50 pounds. Okay. All right. Next question. Now, these questions are around the side effects. They want to know what kind of side effects you're having on the dose you're taking, right? So question number 3 is, are you having any bowel difficulties, right? Are you having any bowel difficulties? And for me, in 5 months, almost 6 months, I haven't had any problems except for once. And I did a whole video on that because I was like, no, I don't have any side effects. I'm doing great. No problem. And then I had a really severe case of constipation. Like it was like compacted rocks. It was really, really um, tough. I recommend anybody to breathe through it, take your time, don't panic, and everything passed okay. But it was really an episode that I had. But that was the only time I ever had it. So I would say no, I'm not really having any bowel difficulties. Okay, question number 4. What is, are you having any nausea? Are you having any nausea? Now, I don't typically suffer from nausea, but I did notice this morning. I was just drinking water. I didn't really have anything, hadn't eaten breakfast yet. And I felt a little bit nauseous for like 5 seconds, right? So I wouldn't put that in the category of you're having nausea, you're feeling nauseous, right? Just for a few minutes. And I've had that happen to me before in the morning when I wasn't on on Zepbound. So I would say no. Like I really don't suffer from that. I know people who feel nauseous all day. So that's not really not nothing. That's nothing to um, to report. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5. Are you having any abdominal pains? Like, are you having any pains with your tummy? And I know some people have to stop taking the medication because they have gastritis or they're vomiting or, they're having some kind of, really, really severe side effects. And I haven't had any of that. So the answer to that is no. So these are questions that your doctor should be asking you, right? Let me know. I want to know. Do your doctor ask you questions before they titrate you up? Or is it because you're a month out or 2 months out or 3 months out that they say, okay, time for the next dose? Like, what is that conversation you're having with your healthcare professional? All right. Next question. Question number 6 is around nutrition intake, right? Nutrition intake. Okay. Question number 6 is, are you able to drink the recommended 64 ounces of water daily? Are you able to drink the recommended 64 ounces of water daily? Now, for me, that has not been a problem, right? If I'm not, I'm able, right? If I'm not drinking the 64 ounces of water daily, it's because I'm talking to you guys, right? Or I'm working and I just forget. I always try to have my water handy. If I have it at my workstation, then I'm usually good because I'll just sip on it all day. But if I forget to bring it into the space that I'm in, then there are times when I don't get all of my water in because I'm busy working. I don't want to stop to go get the water bottle. So, but can I get it in? Yes, that's no problem, right? I don't have a problem drinking water. I don't have a problem getting water down at all. Okay, so that is, and this is like 6B. So that was 6A. 6B is, are you able to eat 3 meals a day, including your protein? Are you able to eat 3 meals a day, including your protein? My nutritionist wants me to have anywhere from 100 to 120 grams of protein a day. I don't have a problem getting food in at all. Right? I'm like, I can eat, no problem, right? So I mean, there are times when I'm not as hungry, but I can eat my meals. 3 meals a day, no problem for me. So let me know. Like, is that something that you struggle with? Some of you are like, oh, I really don't feel like eating at all, but I'll try to get a protein shake in, right? I can eat a regular meal, protein. I can drink a protein shake, or I can eat a regular meal, no problem. Okay. And question number 7 is basically, if you answered no to the side effects questions and yes to the nutrition intake, do you feel ready to increase your dose? Now, this is where it comes. Do you feel ready to increase your dose? Now, this is where it comes in, where you really need to know your body and need to know what you need, right? Because you're communicating with your doctor how you're feeling, right? And so sometimes I have to temper that because I'm like, give me the highest dose, man. Just give it to me. Right? But I have to be sensible and say, excuse me, I say, I said to her when she asked me that, I said, I'd like to stay at 12.5. I think I'm okay at 12.5. I may want to increase it next month if I don't see the scale move, right? If I'm doing everything that I need to do and I don't see the scale move, then I may want to increase it. I may want to titrate up to 15 milligrams next month, right? It's been 6 months, so I think I'm okay to do that. But I'm also keeping in mind that there's nowhere else to go after you're at 15, right? And I think the 12.5 is still okay for me for now, right? So that's what I said to her, right? I said, let's go with the 12.5 for the refill, because that's the reason why I was reaching out to her, was for the refill this month. And then let's look at possibly increasing it next month, depending on how things are going. Now she's going to come back and ask me the same 7 questions again. She's going to ask me, right? She's going to ask me, how are you doing? How's it going? Right? Before she increases that dose, which I love that about her. Like, she really cares about her patients, and she's really going to make sure that you're okay before she just says, yep, I'm writing that script, no problem. Okay. So those are the 7 questions. I'll do a recap shortly. But what I do want, what I know, and often what I often share all of you, is that comparison is the thief of joy. And you got to run your own race. Like, we're all different. We're all at different levels. Our bodies are different. Our exercise routines are different, right? Some people have more muscular bodies than others, right? I do not have a muscular body. I wish I could say I did, but I do not. And so, but I will say it is easy to look to your left and look to your right and be like, but they're all getting so skinny, right? They're getting so skinny, right? But I have to remind myself, I got to pull it in. When I do that, I got to pull it in. Like, Edge, run your own race. We're all different, right? Some people reach out to me in the community like, Edge, I've been 3 months and I've only lost a few pounds, And then somebody else is like, it's been 3 months and I'm down like 40 pounds, right? So we're all different. So we all have to run our own race. And I would just say, put blinders on, right? Celebrate everybody else's success, but put blinders on so that you don't compare yourself, right? And I have to tell myself the same thing I tell you guys, because I'm like, it's going into the fall. It's my favorite season. I want to wear some cute clothes, right? I want to get this weight off. Like, I want it off yesterday, right? But I also can celebrate the fact that 50 pounds have been released, right? 50 pounds have been released. They're gone. And, and I intend to take this medication for the rest of my life, if that's what it takes, right? Because I have been very pleased with what it's able to do for me, and how I feel like it's not intrusive into my life. I feel like it doesn't make me nauseous. It doesn't give me cramps or pains. It doesn't restrict my eating in the way that surgery would, right? But it impacts my brain. And I always tell you about what it does to my brain. For me, restriction isn't strong enough to stop me from overeating. But this medication, because it does have your food digests slower, so your cravings are not as great typically, and you're not as hungry. You feel fuller longer. But that was never my problem. My problem is up here. That head hunger, the food craving, the food noise, that is my biggest problem. And that's the problem that this medication has been able to solve for me. And I always talk about my hunger as being this angry beast, right? It's the beast. And on the medication, on Zepbound, that beast is on a leash, right? It is under control. It's like, sit and stay there. We will feed you when we get a moment. Just calm down, settle down, right? And I've been able to do that. And so that is the biggest thing for me. What it does in my brain, in my hypothalamus, when those hormones are released, it just tells my brain, you're okay, right? It gives me a normal brain. That's the only way that I can describe it in a way to you. If you're not on the medication, you might be thinking, what does that mean? What does that look like? It looks like when people are saying they feel normal again, that they can eat a normal portion. They can see something that would normally give them, they would crave, they want to eat all of it. They could take a bite of it or something, a taste, and keep it moving. That's what it does to the brain. I feel like I have like this guard at the door of my brain, excuse me, that says you can't get in today, right? She's good, just leave her alone. You can't get in today, right? It's like my guardian angel at the door, like, nope, nope, we're not tempting her today, not today, right? Come back tomorrow. We'll see what we're doing tomorrow, but not today. So that's what the medication does for me. That's the feeling that it gives me. I also noticed one other thing that I want to share, and I may have mentioned this in another video, that the food still tastes the same, right? Some people say, well, do you like the taste of the food? Yes. For me, the food still tastes the same, but the pleasure that I got from the food is not the same. And I won't say it's not like at all. Like I won't say that I don't enjoy my meals. I do enjoy my meals, but not the same. Like before, I like love the food. Like, yum, it's so good, give me more, right? Now it's like, that was good, that was satisfying, that was tasty, and I'm good. I don't need to have another helping of that. And that's different. I also noticed, and I maybe mentioned this in my last video, I had some things I was supposed to have. Okay. I'm confessing, right? Because I was at camp, right? At the summer camp. They had Doritos and Sprite, right? So I had that, and I remember I didn't even drink the whole can of Sprite. Like it was just a regular can of Sprite. But I remember thinking, it tastes good. It tastes okay, but it doesn't taste like as good as I remember. Like I remember, like Sprite is like the best, but I don't. In my brain, it's like it's okay, but you could have drank water with lemon and been just as satisfied. Well, maybe not exactly because of sweetness there, but you know what I mean, right? It isn't. It's not giving me a high, right? It's not giving you that sensation in the brain that I used to get. I don't know how to explain it. If you know what I'm talking about, put a comment in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. But it's not as heightened. It's still there. It's still the meals are still satisfying. Thank God. Like I want to enjoy my food. Still there, but it's not like fireworks are going off in my brain. No, it's like, okay, that was satisfying. And I can keep moving on with my day and I can focus on other things and not just the food. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you because that was top of mind for me. So if I'm completely honest, and you know I'm always honest with you, I'll tell you all my business. If I'm honest with you and I'm honest with myself, I would say that I have not done everything that I could have done to lose the weight, right? So if I'm asking myself, did you do everything, Ange? Did you do everything you could do? Did you work out every day? Did you drink your 64 ounces of water? Did you do all the things, right? Over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when I'm saying, okay, the scale didn't really move, if I'm honest with you, I would have to say no. No, I didn't. And you know that when I travel, I struggle. When I travel, I struggle because of what my limited choices, because what's available to me, what's, being away. Like you always feel like whenever you're traveling, you're on vacation, right? So would I say I was perfect and I ate all the things? I would say I could not eat as much as I normally eat. So the portions were not as large. And that's probably why I didn't gain like 20 pounds while traveling, right? But I didn't eat as healthily as I could have eaten, right? I could have eaten just a salad, but at camp, the kitchen crew was so sweet. Like they would make me a salad to go with whatever, but I was having like a salad and pizza, right? Because that's what the kids were having, right? I was having like a salad and a burger, right? So those are things that with the bun. Some people are like, well, as long as you take the bun out, no, with the bun. So one of the reasons why I did not titrate up is because I said to myself, there are things that you could be doing that can move the needle, right? And you haven't done those things yet. So when you've done all the things that you can do, when you've fully done your part, Ange, then, and you're still not, the needle's still not moving, then I would say, yes, you need to titrate up. Now, I will tell you, my first week when I was in Minnesota, The meals were okay. They weren't terrible. They were okay, but I wasn't going to the gym, but I was doing a lot of walking. I was doing a lot of moving. I was very active. Last week at camp, I won't say I was that active. It rained a few days. So I wasn't really like out walking. So I would say that's something too that I have to pay attention to. I can't say because the medicine is a tool, right? It's a tool. It can't do everything, right? So I have to make sure that I do my part too. Okay. So I want to be honest, like, there are things I could do. And that's what I said to my doctor that I don't think I'm ready to titrate up yet because there's still things that I can do, right? I will tell you, last week, my feet and my ankles started getting swollen again. It was hot and sticky and humid outside. I noticed my fingers were a little puffy, right? I was taking in a lot of salt, a lot of sodium. But this week when I came home, I felt myself going to the bathroom a lot, releasing a lot of the water, and getting back to normal. Okay. So I know I've lost a couple of pounds since I've been back, but that's kind of getting me back to my normal 50, right? Okay, so before we jump in, I just want to do a quick recap with you. But before we do that, I want to share that this episode is brought to you by my new program. We just went through a beta, super, super excited to offer it. I think we're going to do a big launch in September. So just get ready for it. It's a new program of Be Brilliant on YouTube, where we help you brand and build your YouTube channel so you can share your stories of transformation, because all of you have them, these amazing stories of transformation. You can reach the audience that you're here to serve and inspire hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people online. Just imagine the impact that you can have in the lives of other people by showing up and shining online. We call that being brilliant, right? And at the same time, monetizing your message too. I monetized my channel in just 45 days. I was surprised, right? And I'd love to show you exactly how I did it. So if you'd like my help in building your YouTube channel, some of you have thought about having a YouTube channel. Maybe you started your YouTube channel, or you're trying to get it off the ground. I would love to be able to help you with our new program called Be Brilliant on YouTube. All you have to do is simply email me. You can email me at angela@bebrilliantmovement.com. That's angela@bebrilliantmovement.com. I'll be training the next cohort soon. So if you'd like to join us, simply send me an email. You can find my email address in the show notes as well. So I always want to tell you about that. I know it's not for everybody, but I just absolutely love teaching it. I love the ladies that are part of the program who are in the beta. They gave me great feedback, and they have made the program even better for you. So if that's something you're interested in, the prices are still low for that. So if something you're interested in, raise your hand quickly, send me an email, let me know, and I will be happy to work with you. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of what we talked about. We talked about 7 answers that you need to be able to have before you titrate up. And that is, what's your most recent weight? What's your weight? Are you losing, right? Have you shown a nice steady pace of losing where you are on your 5 milligrams or I know somebody was 2.5 milligrams and was dropping weight like crazy. I was like, who are you? How are you doing that? Shout out, you know who you are, losing all that weight on the lower milligrams. That's the first question. Excuse me. The second question is, what is your current medication dose? Make sure your doctor knows where you are on the dose. The third one is around side effects, right? Are you having any bowel difficulties, right? Are you extremely constipated? Are you having a hard time with that? The next one is, are you having any nausea? I know a lot of people have nausea, but I hear more cases of nausea on Wegovy than on Zepbound. But let me know if that's your case, if you had a lot of nausea. Are you having any abdominal pain? Are you throwing up? Have you had gastritis? Anything severe like that? These are the questions that your doctors should be asking you, and you need to be able to answer this before you titrate up. Number 4 is around your nutrition, right? Are you able to drink the recommended 64 ounces of water daily? Are you getting your water in? That might be a reason you're constipated if you're not. I mean, that is something that's very, very important, right? Having enough liquid, having your body hydrated. The next question is, part of that is, are you able to eat at least 3 meals a day, including your protein? Are you getting that protein in? Are you eating the food that you should be eating, right? Uh, some of you might say, well, no, I'm not eating that much food because I want to lose weight, right? But you still should be eating, getting your nutrition in. Your body needs that, right? And then if you answered no to the side effects questions and yes to the intake questions, do you feel ready to increase your dose? Do you feel ready to increase your dose, right? So I'm getting a little warm here. I'm taking my jacket off. So that's important to be able to answer that. And that is an individual question, a question for, nobody can answer that for you. You should be able to know. And it shouldn't just be, like me, I want to lose the weight. Of course, we all want to lose the weight, right? But it should really be about, do you feel ready to? Like, is it time? You know your body. You should be able to say, you know what, let me go another month on where I am. Or I know I need to titrate up. When I was on 5, I knew I needed to titrate. I was like, it's not strong enough. It needs to be stronger than this, right? Because I knew my body. All right. And then the final thing that my doctor asked me, and you want to share that with them too, right? Don't withhold anything because they're here to help you, they're here to support you, even if you want to titrate up and they're saying no, not yet. The final thing that they're going to ask, they're probably going to ask is like, please share any other comments that you think are relevant, right? If there's anything else that your doctors need to know, please share it with them. Don't withhold anything because I want to make sure that you guys are healthy and happy, and I don't want you to titrate up too quickly if you don't need to. But I want you to be on the dose that you need to be on to get the results that you want to get, right? We all want that. Okay. So a disclaimer, this is just one girl's journey, right? This is Zepbound Journey with Ange. I'm not a doctor. I always tell you to talk to your doctors because some of you are asking me questions like, what should I do? I'm like, well, this is what I did, but to always talk to your doctor about it, right? Because we want to make sure the professionals are giving you, they know you best, they know your body's the best, and they're trained to handle this kind of thing, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the episode, right? If this has added value to you and you'd like to join us on this journey, maybe you've been watching us for a long time because there's a bunch of you who are watching us, who are viewing the videos, but you haven't subscribed yet. Why not? If you like the episode, please like it, subscribe. Our like numbers are really high. We're always like high 90s. So people really enjoy our episodes. So please like it, subscribe it. Share it with your friends and ring the notification bell so that you get notified as soon as we drop another video. So I'd love for you to be a part of our community. And what I will say is that we are a kind, caring, compassionate community. I'm not a doctor. I'm not somebody that's just talking about the medication. I'm somebody who has struggled with my own weight, for most of my life. Right. And I'm sharing the good, bad, and ugly of this journey with you. But I will say that this is a safe space. Like nobody's here to judge you. Society may judge us because of what we weigh or what we look like. But here we focus on from the inside out, right? The people that we are and the journey that we're going on together, right? So know that, and I always love celebrating your wins. So I like to know when you've had a great week. Excuse me. I like to know when you had a great week, because that inspires and encourages me too, right? I need your encouragement too, right? We're on this journey together. So please subscribe. I would like to. And then if you subscribe, please let me know that you subscribe because I like to officially welcome you to our community, right? I always love to do that. So welcome to all the new people, and welcome back to the people who have been here for a long time. I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers who has, you know who you are. She has been commenting and binge watching. And she went all the way back to the beginning and binge watched all of the episodes. So shout out to you. And you put some great comments in there. I read every single comment. Right now, we still have a small channel. I can read everything and I respond to everybody else. It's not a bot or an assistant who's responding to you. I'm responding to you. So please, if there's anything you want to know or share with me, please do so. I love to read your comments. And as always, please share your wins with me. Give me one win that you had from the week. I would love to hear that. And you know how we end it. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want you to go out there. I want you to be bold because it takes boldness to raise your hand and say, I need help, right? I can't do this on my own. I'm ready to try this cutting edge medication and let's let me go on my own journey. It takes boldness to do that. I want you to be brave because it takes courage. It takes courage to not care what the naysayers say. Like, why do you need to take that medication? You should be able to do it on yourself, on your own. You should be able to do exercise and nutrition on your own, right? We know that for those of you who have the disease of obesity, it's not that easy. And so I say that you need to be brave because you advocate for yourself. And I love that. And I want you to go out there and I want you to be brilliant because you are, right? People are watching you. You are writing a whole new story, right? You're going on this journey of transformation. That's why I want you to share it on YouTube and have your own community because you can lead your own community and inspire so many people, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, and create a legacy for yourself on YouTube or video, wherever you'd like to do that. But I want you to show up and shine is my point, right? Because other people are watching. There's so many people in this country. Over 70% of the people in this country are suffering from obesity or they're overweight. 70%, right? So there's so many people. And you are the example of what's possible, right? You're going on this journey, whether it's faster or it's slower, you're making progress. And I want to celebrate you for that. So go out there, be bold, be brave, and be brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me for this journey, this Zepbound journey with Ange. I appreciate you being here. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.